And the Yankees get those first two of the series, despite all of the pomp and circumstance that happened with those two games. But then we go into game three, which was a good one, a nail-biting one. I mean, Cole and Bassett, awesome, awesome showdown. I mean, Garrett Cole has a resurgent start. He still didn't look great. Um, he gives up 7 hits, 2 walks, 9 base runners in 6 innings. You don't expect 0 runs, but you've kind of come to expect it from Garrett Cole, who fought his way through 6 clean. And the Yankees had a good path. I mean, Cole to Clay to Cordero to King to Wandy. This ultimately went scoreless through 9 into the 10th inning. But Bassett just had an awesome day, only 3 hits, shut down the Yankees bats. And then Romano also had a really good ninth and 10th inning to shut the Yankees down, even with the base runner. And then the Blue Jays just, get a runner over in the 10th. I mean, Volpe kind of boots one. It wasn't really booted. I thought it would have been a hit. I mean, he saves a run on the Merrifield ball up the middle, but he doesn't make the play to get Merrifield at first. And then you have Jansen coming up, a lot of infielders, and Wandy just gives up the 3-run shot. Didn't watch a lot of this game. I was at the Mets game, which was an electric game. Vientos, Alvarez, Alonso homers. That was pretty fun. But I got to watch some of this on my phone while at Citi Field. Your takeaways from this game? I know you didn't get to catch a lot of this either.
Yeah, I played midweek baseball that night. I actually worked a 13 pitch walk in my first at bat.
Oh
So,
wow.
and then I worked an 11 pitch walk in my second one. And then they intentionally walked me in my third. So I saw like a total of 25 pitches with like barely having to swing the bat. um, so yeah, I was accomplishing my own baseball feats at the time. However, I did see the first couple innings of Cole's outing, and he did look pretty good. He I think gave up 7 hits, but at the same time he was limiting damage. He obviously didn't allow any runs, so he was getting out of trouble consistently. Yes, it wasn't the same dominance that we've seen out of Cole that we saw earlier in the season, but it's still not something to be concerned about necessarily. Like I said, his velocity was up to 97 to 99 in the first inning. Typically, he saves that for the like sixth or seventh inning, but maybe he knew that he was going to need a little bit extra to get through this game, and he did what he needed to do. I feel like once it got to the point where there was going to be extra innings, it almost felt like an inevitable loss for the Yankees, unfortunately. But it's also one that you can shake off pretty quickly because they did win those first 2 games in such convincing fashion. So I'm not mad about it necessarily. You put out Wandy in the 10th, and he's one of your best closer, your best relievers, and you fully trust him in that scenario. So maybe he just didn't have it. I can get past it pretty easily.
Awesome bounce back from Cole. Um, I've decided that Wandy is my favorite reliever, except when Danny Jansen is batting. Uh,
Yes,
Danny Jansen has, what's the math? Is it a 4,000 OPS against Wandy this year? He's 2 for 2 with 2 home runs. The first one was a game-tying 2-run homer in the top of the ninth at Yankee Stadium a few weeks ago, and then a walk-off 3-run homer. When a sac fly would have been fine, Danny. You didn't have to do all that. But he hits both home runs in like the same exact spot. So just don't have Wandy face Danny Jansen, like fake an injury or something if he can't get out of the game. Uh,
shin
yeah, I'm fine
splints.
with this one. The Yankees bats have been hot. They just got beat. Bassett, 1 inning shared by Garcia and Meza, and then Romano. That's as good of a pitching path as you're going to face. The Yankees have been all over Romano, but Romano looked dirty in this one. I mean, he goes 2 innings, 2 strikeouts, just 1 walk, no hits, no threats really, even in the 10th inning with the runner on. Um, so Yankees drop one, and it doesn't matter too much because of how we followed up with Game 4. And Game 4 was another good one. I mean, Aaron Judge, man, another first inning homer, another bomb, just center field home runs this whole
He's making
series.
he's making an absolute statement how he's not hitting cheapies or anything like these are moonshots in every way, shape, or form.
And he follows up again later with a double. I mean, Oswaldo hits a nice gapper. Even Hicksy gets in the game, late inning double. Have yourself a day, Hicks. Uh,
Three
three
hits.
for four. Yeah, 3 for 4, including a double. Um, he was he was threatening. He was producing. Awesome day from Hicks. Had an RBI. Judge had two RBI. Then Volpe caught the pole and left. I really like the start here from Nestor coming back. A little rocky for a little bit, but I mean, Nestor going 6 innings, that's what you need. Um, and especially from Domingo screwing the team over in game 2, to have Cole give length and Nestor, both of them going 6 innings the following 2 days, um, really does well. Ryan Weber again comes in solid, walk and a hit, but he shuts the door. He gets out of trouble. Albert Abreu looked awesome. He had 2 strikeouts. I know he's kind of hit or miss. The Yankees go to Marinaccio for the save. I mean, right now, who's our closer? Don't care. It's
Yes,
working.
by
Uh,
committee.
by committee. And I that's the best way to go about it, man. I think that alleviates the pressure from Clay. I think it makes the Wandy finishes more special because you're really playing favorable matchups for him. You're playing when the tension is high, like against the bottom of that Blue Jays lineup. Their real threat came in the seventh, I believe, and that's when Vladdy had the came in the pinch hit and he had the sac fly to center. That was where Weber came in and shut the door. But Wandy faced the bottom of their lineup. Uh, sorry, Marinaccio faced the bottom of their lineup, not a high tension scenario. So I think that's where you save Wandy for, and just don't have a ninth inning guy. Just have high leverage and less high leverage guys. Play your matchups. I think it's been working because I think the Yankees were kind of half pregnant with their matchup game when Clay was like their closer, their go-to closer, and they would push that matchup even if it wasn't the best. Whereas now I think Clay has been reduced to in that mix of those 5 1 inning relievers, and then you play whoever you think is best at that time and run with who's hot and run with who has the stats. So I like it. Yankees pull out another victory. They take 3 out of 4 against the Blue Jays, which is a huge, huge game. They're the same games over 500, but the Yankees have more wins. So that's all you need. And I think the Yankees are still technically in fourth because of that. But this is our main competition right now for the wild card. So 3 out of 4 in Toronto is as good of an outcome as you can have. What do you think of this game 4?
I mean, you really summed it up well. I liked a lot of what I saw out of the bullpen just in general. I didn't get to watch the entire game through and through because I actually saw the Yogi Berra movie, which was fantastic. I highly recommend any baseball fan, especially Yankees fans, go see it. I think that his talent got vastly overlooked, and what he did for the Yankees, especially, was underappreciated. So that's a whole different story altogether. Highly recommend the movie. Can't recommend it enough. But I only got to catch like pretty much 6 to 9 outs total, if that. And Nestor looked like he was crisper than he's been in the last month or so. So you have to be happy about that. And then Marinaccio had the most stress-free ninth inning that I've seen in probably the entirety of the season, just in a save situation. I think that Volpe home run kind of put them in a place where they felt way more confident going into that ninth inning. Even though it went from a 1 run to 2 run deficit, that was enough to put Marinaccio in with pretty much set him up for success.